Good morning, viewers. We are back in Split, Croatia, preparing for the action of day 2. And we will be starting today with the women's competition, the remaining group stages in Block 1. In Block 2 we will have the last men's pool games for you. And then in the afternoon we'll be returning for the first ranking games of the weekend. So a full day of action here in Croatia at the Rugby Europe Sevens Championship 2026. Leg 2, where we will crown the champions of European Sevens Rugby for this season. Not just medals up for grab, the trophy teams have already played their competition, so we know who will be promoted, and the relegated teams will also be decided this weekend. More on that later. I'll have my expert next to me for the later stages, and he will be providing us with some information about the possible scenarios there. But right now we focus on the matter in hand, and that is, as I said, the pool games of the women's competition. We'll be kicking off with Great Britain against Denmark, and then moving on to Spain against Belgium in Pool C. As you see now in the graphic in front of us, moving through the groups, Pool C, B, A, and we'll be ending those group stage games with France against Ireland, so a real cracker to look forward to there. The Irish women looking very strong this weekend, as are the French. We would expect nothing less. It's another warm day here, similar to yesterday, but just with a little bit less wind, wreaking havoc on the kicking game and the long passes, so we might see a slightly cleaner, more free running rugby. That would be lovely. But like I said, it's another warm one, mid-20s already. It'll be hitting high 20s, maybe even the low 30s later in the afternoon. So a scorcher here, proper sevens rugby weather. They've been working on the pitch overnight, and it's looking in cracking condition again. A couple of slightly brown patches, but talking to the players, that's not upsetting them. It's actually a very soft, good playing surface. Not deep, soft on the surface, but a good firm base to run. So a lot of excitement here. Just speaking to some of the referees as well, they're delighted, things are going well, and no great issues up to now. Andy, you ready to jump in next to me? Any thoughts on the day?
Yeah, good morning Ian, good morning everyone out there. Yeah, looking forward to this today. Beautiful weather, perfect conditions for watching rugby. Might be a little bit warm as the day progresses, slight lack of wind as you said. But all in all, good for European rugby, and most of the teams are used to the sunshine, they're used to the harder grounds, and not so much with the rain, which is good. Yeah, looking forward to some of these games today. Obviously we're kicking off with Denmark, GB, and GB had a good start with 2 wins yesterday, playing really some excellent rugby. And they had 2 games yesterday with a win against Belgium, and then also the game against Spain, wasn't it, where they got beaten 29 points to I think 10, but they were looking good. We liked them. They started off really well, looked a bit more cohesive, and I think they'll probably be favourites for this game against Denmark, who got a couple of tries in yesterday, but however they weren't as productive as we'd like to have seen. But all in all, it should be a good morning of rugby. As you said, speaking to a few of the referees, speaking to a few of the coaches, teams have slept well, officials have slept well. They've come here rejuvenated, ready for another day, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can, what sort of rugby transpires today.
Yeah, thanks for that, Andy. Really looking forward to it. Thanks for highlighting those couple of little fixtures to look forward to there. I hope the viewers at home are starting to log in, waking up, enjoying their morning coffee. It's exactly what we've been doing here. Just a quick opportunity to push the region here, Croatia Split. The local authorities doing a great job of organising this tournament. It's the first time that's been happening here. So once more, thank you to the Croatian Rugby Union for organising such a great event. And Split is a beautiful location, so if anyone gets the opportunity to come down, do so. We'll have our final day tomorrow, and it'll be action-packed as ever. An old Roman city, so it's a beautiful old town. We've got the sea, we've got the hills. You can't get much better than that. Good quality rugby and a nice holiday atmosphere.
Yeah, when you could log in to listen to us, you don't only get some rugby advice, you get travel advice. Ian's done his little bit of homework on the town. We went in to have a little look at it, obviously just checking out the local cafes for a coffee yesterday, and it all looks very nice up by the port town of Split. As you said, the union here have done really well in promoting this and getting it organised. There's a lot of volunteers, a lot of helpers here that have been supporting everyone to get this up and running. We had a bit of DJ sounds on last night where the VIPs that were invited did really well. And tonight we've got the Gypsy Kings playing at the end of the tournament as well. So lots going on, lots been organised, not just a rugby event but a bit of a family event as well. As we start to see a few people coming in, I can see a GB flag there, I can see the Sweden flag, see a Germany flag. Even looks like a Swiss flag over there, but it can't be. Surely that's not a Swiss flag. It has to be a Danish flag, is it?
Indeed it is, Andy. That is the Great Danes. And they'll be really excited. They've been showing some great development, playing very good rugby. And so it's great to see their fans here. It's their first year on the series, and they're turning some heads, as I've mentioned in the past. Not quite getting the results they wanted yet, but that could all change. Great Britain looking slightly lethargical in their second game of the day yesterday, and that was what happened with them in Hamburg as well. They started the tournament in cracking form and it seemed to die off throughout the group stages, so Denmark might just be targeting this one, Andy.
Yeah, we've been talking about Denmark after having coming up and joining the championship, and they're growing every tournament. They're growing, every game they're growing. We've seen some good play by them. We just haven't seen them score. I think they've only had 2 tries in this tournament so far, but they're getting there. They're starting to see what the level is and starting to understand where they need to be if they want to progress. As we see the 2 teams running out now, Denmark and Great Britain taking the field, with the officials following in behind. Alice Tora will be refereeing this one today, as we hear the stadium announcers trying to rile up the crowd a little bit, getting a bit of noise going. Really looking forward to this one, Ian.
Yeah, exactly. Really looking forward to it. There we see the Denmark squad, so absolute cracking players in there. I think they might have mixed up a few of the numbers. Watch out for number 6, Halbeck. She's a particular star. And now we see the British squad as well. Now they've packed in some talents for this weekend, looking to up their performance from Hamburg. So all eyes in the action. We're getting underway for day 2, the first kick. And we're off. Denmark playing in their white kit from left to right, and Great Britain in their classic home kit playing from right to left, and they're off playing the ball in the width. And here we see Greenway, who had a cracking first day yesterday, one of the stars of the British team, and she's created the first opportunity as they move the ball strongly down the left hand side, offloading with great confidence, and Greenway will finish off the try that she created 60 metres further back, rewarded with the first 5 points of the day.
Yeah, lovely start by GB. They're just moving the ball there through the hands of Lovabond, going on to Greenway, and then back through the hands again of Evelyn Clark. So a very simple start for Team GB, just a collect and then run. It wasn't anything fancy, plain and simple, bit of hard work, get the hands on the ball early doors and attack the outside shoulders of the Danish team for the score to go 5-0 up in the first minute of this game.
Yeah, 5-0, and it will stay 5-0 as we see Millie Hyatt missing the conversion. It was a tough old angle, so she won't be too upset. They've got off to a great start here, Team GB, and they do get to kick off. Fielded well, that is the big woman Halbech. And just setting a controlled contact point where they can launch an attack from deep. looking to move the ball in the width. And strong British defence, not giving these Danish women an inch. And that's the first unforced error from the Danish side as the pressure comes on from Team GB. So maybe an opportunity here, Andy, for them just to extend their lead.
Yeah, great hit there from Katie Schilliker there. Emptied the Danish attack there, stopped it in its tracks. But there's also the woman you spoke about earlier, Courtney Greenway, making that initial surge going forward to slow down the Danish attack there. And then, as we said, turnover was Schilliker there, and GB start to move this ball into the wider channels, and that's Schilliker on the ball again, running round the outside, almost all the way into that 15-metre channel though. Ball safe.
Yeah, she's a real superstar, this GB team, and making a real impact early in the game, and they will extend their lead through number 14, Fiona McIntosh, storming over for try number 2. So day 2 is off to a great start already, Andy. That's 2 tries in just over or just under 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was a well-worked try, as we said, from the defensive position of turning the ball over, getting the scrum, then moving it into the wide channels to bring it back again, just spreading that Danish defence, opening up a gap for the powerful and speedy Fiona McIntosh to go through for the score. As you said, 2 scores in the space of 3 minutes, definitely a good start for GB. Denmark yet to get out of their bed, so they need to just waken up a little bit and get some hands on the ball and get a bit of control back as we see the kick-off going a nice 10 metres.
Yeah, lovely kick-off there, very contestable, but GB unable to regather on this occasion. They have turned it over though, so GB on the attack once more, looking for try number 3, looking to extend their lead. It's Katie Schilliker, we know what she can do. She steps inside, evading the first. Oh, you've got to take the ball with you, Katie. Slight unforced error there, and Denmark with the opportunity to break away. Greenway chasing in hot pursuit, making a very good tackle from behind, working back hard. Denmark do retain the ball though, so they have momentum now on their side. Halbech keeping the ball alive, spreading it out. They're flirting with the touchline slightly there, and she is bundled out over it eventually.
Yeah, that was a great initial break there from Elmbach. We saw her yesterday powering through a couple of tackles, and she's done it once again to help take the Danish team from their own 22 right the way up to almost into the GB 22. But some good defence from Team GB, managing to take that tack away as they start to move it into the midfield and possibly to the outside channels once more.
Schilliker once more, a little stutter step, just forcing her defender to decelerate and stop in front of her. And Greenway once more attacking the line, getting the hands free for the offload. That was McIntosh once more, but Denmark in a strong body position there, and they do get the turnover. Straight into attack. Halbech looking to run the crash line. She's ignored this time as number 8, Augustino, the Greek gymnast, chooses to go herself. And Denmark carry on playing on this tight side. Now they do look for a little bit more width. And once more, just hitting it up in the middle, drawing in 3 British defenders who move slowly around the ruck. Not much space there to be found. That's Giesing. She's a very dangerous ball carrier, but didn't have much momentum on that occasion. And it's slow ball. And well recognised by McIntosh, that ball was free to be played, so she just comes round and hacks it forward, sending Denmark right back into deep into their own half, and GB able to come up with the ball as well. They've stacked out to the left-hand side. They've got numbers. If they can just move it and commit the defenders, which they do, Schilliker, she should run this in, unchallenged, in the corner for try number 3.
Yeah, that was a lung-busting piece of play there. The turnover came from some good reading of the situation by GB. Augustino couldn't get there. She was far too slow to get there. She was out on her feet. You could see her as I think it was Greenway came through to kick the ball at the back of the ruck. Because it was out, it was past the back foot, so she was allowed to come through, and the referee waved play on. And these players were just out on their feet there. However, the experience of GB, I think, got them through, and we saw them really push up and get into a good shape and structure for the ball to go out wide. And was it Schilliker that ended up with the score there on the outside? So well played, Team GB. However, Denmark, some good initial play, but just unfortunately didn't have that strength, power and fitness to continue the move.
As we see, one change for Denmark as well. Olivia Neinstedt takes to the field. I think that's Augustino who's being replaced. I'll get a number for you in a second. I'm getting a thumbs up from Andy. I don't get that very often, so I must be right for a change. And Denmark able to slap that ball back from the kickoff and dive on it on the floor, and they have possession once more, and they'll look to build another attack, maybe going all the way this time. But bundle into touch once more, this British defence not giving them an inch.
Yeah, good defence from GB, just forcing her outside as we hear the half-time hooter go, and it's time for a little rest for these players. A good start for Team GB. They've done really well, got the ball into the right position, started off nice and easy and just slowly building up into the play that we know they can. Into the players, that they know they can be. Denmark yet to really get going. They've had one little break there from Elmbach, and Giesing we know is a great player. She can really move if she gets the opportunity to have some space on the outside, and the substitute there that came, or the player that came off, Augustino, she's been really strong and powerful for this tournament, so we need her back into play and getting her fitness levels up there. But still all to play for. It's only 3 scores, 15-0. It's not that far in, as we've seen many a team come back from that.
Yeah, we have indeed. It only takes a second to score a try. One good line break and you're through. We almost saw Denmark doing it in the first half. If it hadn't been for the good work from Courtney Greenway chasing back, then they would have managed to get the first try. And that's how quickly things can change here. But good to see in that first half, like we promised you, less wind means more accuracy, and you can kind of see that from the Team GB, Andy. They're running more, throwing the ball around with freedom.
Yeah, they've got into their stride, as we said. The very start was a little scrappy, but if it's scrappy and you can still score, then good on them. But as we saw later on, as they did go through and scored, especially that third try, you know, their structure was there, their backs were out. Well, I say their backs, but their open players were well lined up, waiting for the ball just to be passed along the line. It was a simple catch and pass for Schilliker to go in for that last try. So I think they've got their structure sorted out. They've obviously been having a little bit of video analysis and a bit of chat over last night, and they've come out ready to be part of this tournament.
Yeah, we're back underway here, second half. Team GB with a long, high kickoff. Struggling under the height of that was Denmark, and Greenway, who's having a cracking tournament, scampers in for their 4th try of the match. Her second. That's the brace for Courtney Greenway.
Yeah, she's got a bit of speed there, but I love that she was just carrying the ball in 2 hands there, looking to find the gaps in the Danish defence there, and she still had the option to pass if she wanted to. However, her pace managed to just take her on the outside shoulder and between 2 defenders, and she just strolled over for a touchdown to take it up to 20 points to 0. And unfortunately, kick just going slightly wide there from Millie Hyatt. But what a kickoff she had there, Millie Hyatt, just on that first kickoff. Found the grass again, and this one, similar position. However, Denmark deal with it a little bit better this time, but a great press from GB.
Yeah, Denmark coming under instant pressure there from the kickoff. Hyatt really judging her boot well. But an opportunity now, if they can just keep control of this ball, which they're struggling to, maybe a little bit of panic under pressure there. Just stay cool, stick to your systems and it'll work. And they're out to the right, and that's exactly what we're talking about. A great bit of athleticism there, just to burn her opponent on the one-on-one. Chasing back hard is number 10, that's Schilliker. and she does make the tackle, but it's a little bit too late. The try is scored. So Denmark, having conceded 4, they get one of their own.
Yeah, that was a great race to watch from up here. I was just quiet watching that. I saw Katie Schilliker just coming back in there trying to chase her down. I thought she's got it here. But that winger there, that outside player for Denmark, I can't actually see who it is. I'm sorry, Ian, I can't see who the scorer was. I'm sure we'll find out. But what a pace to go the whole way, and confidence just to pin the earbacks and go for it from basically your own 22, almost your try line, the whole length of the field. But great try for them, and the Danish team down below us and the management were absolutely delighted with that one, and quite rightly so.
Yeah, they're off the mark here, and who knows what that might, how that might just breed a little bit of confidence within the setup and help them push on to bigger and better things this weekend. That's a cracking kickoff and very contestable. Halbeck is under it, but very well fielded by Eva Wood. Greenway once more. She's been a threat all day, or all game, I mean. Very controlled by GB as Loverbond distributes. Playing nicely in the width, that technical and accurate passes, and good pace on them as well. Schilliker sees an opportunity down the left hand side, and she's testing the Danish pace, and we do have one player chasing back. That's Elmbach trying to catch her. She won't manage it, and GB answer straight away, no delay, extending their lead to 25 points to 5.
Yeah, great credit to Katie Schilliker there. She just went in defensive mode 2 minutes ago when the Danish were attacking and going. She ran the best part of 70 metres to try and chase down someone, and there she is going from her own half, probably another 50 to 60 metre sprint down the outside to put her team well ahead on 25 points to 0. But I suspect we might just see her taking a breather now. I think the coaches, unless they're being very cruel, will have her off the field and take a rest going into the next stages of the tournament. So well played there. Unfortunately the conversion didn't quite make it, so it stays at 25 points to 5. As we get ready for another kick-off, I think it'll be Hyatt again that'll take control of this.
Yeah, and as that was all happening, we've seen some replacements as well. So taking to the field for Team GB, it's Kieran Bell and Lucia Scott. Some fresh legs looking to keep this intensity for the remaining 3 minutes, or 2.5 minutes we have now.
Yeah, unfortunately that kick-off just going straight into touch. The wind just catching it. It landed probably about half a metre out, but just shows those narrow margins. Now Denmark get a good opportunity to have a little go here at the GB defence.
Yeah, and Denmark making the change of their own. Toxborg takes to the field. I believe that's Elmbach who is being replaced. She's running towards me, so I can't see a number, but that does look to me to be Millie Elmbach leaving the field. And Denmark into attack nicely here through Giesing, charging forwards. Good work at the breakdown, but that ball's slightly slow, and GB are more than ready in defence. Overcommitting slightly at that breakdown of Denmark, but they find the space in the tight channel, and that is Giesing in for try number 2 for Denmark. So they are not being disheartened by the tries from Great Britain. Denmark will not go away, they will not give up, and they've come back with a try, their second try of the game.
Yeah, great work from Giesing there. You just saw her running on that short line. Denmark had actually overcommitted to the ruck. They'd put two sealers in on the ruck there after the tackle was made. However, the little pick round the base of the scrum and the hard line coming in from Giesing was just too strong for Hyatt to get to her, and she put the hand out on the fend and over she went for the score. So another score for Denmark, putting them up to 10 points. Unfortunately, conversion just missed on this occasion, but as you said, they're not giving up yet. They're here to play some rugby.
Yeah, and very promising for future fixtures as well for them. This one maybe just out of their reach now, but fantastic to see that they can play in the width and in the tight channels. They can be a danger all over the park as Great Britain mount their next attack from within their own half, around the 10 metre now, and just charging towards the gap in the middle of the field, committing a couple of defenders. And they go route one once more. Getting the hands free, offload and keeping the ball alive. That appears to have gone forward. It has indeed. It'll be a scrum for Denmark with just over 30 seconds left to play in this game.
Yeah, promising attack there from GB. Nice little offloads there. However, the pass to Shaw de Leon was just not quite to hand. She had to reach back for it, and unfortunately the one-handed catch wasn't quite there, and just a little knock on. Good for Denmark. They're in a very strong position here, just inside their own half, middle of the field. Both sides as options to play with. Let's hope they can launch something from here.
Yeah, it'll be good to see. British defence set. And attacking down the right-hand side. Looking maybe for a slight mismatch there. Oh, a big, powerful Bosch. I think that must have been Giesing again. Was it, Andy?
I believe it was there. She's been powering down that outside as Denmark move it back to this side, spreading the GB defence.
Yeah, indeed, spreading them is the word. Recycling well this time and going route one, but Loverbond is more than awake to that and puts in a big hit of her own. Denmark still making progress though, forcing that British defence just to keep slowly walking backwards, and they're rewarded with a penalty. So momentum on the Danish side at the moment. Maybe Britain just slightly taking the foot off the gas here as they know the game has already been wrapped up.
Yeah, Philippa Rosanna Hure there, just showing her power there. She's come onto the field and with a number 7 jersey, scrum cap on, she's just driving her legs there, got herself to ground. Support players were there, but GB tackler just didn't roll away. So Denmark taking a stance here. Let's hopefully they can win this line out and then get it into open play again.
Toksborg throws well and Denmark rise and claim their own line out. Mauling it into the 22 of Great Britain and getting a little pop off for the hard unders line. Nienstad, she's done that a few times, running these hard channels. She loves a bit of a physical contest. And the Danes keep on going hard, but Great Britain getting in a good position over that breakdown, getting hands on ball and the lift. They're rewarded with a penalty, and they'll just tap it and get it off the park. They're happy with that first victory of day 2. So Great Britain going 2 from 3 in the group stages, Andy.
Yeah, unfortunate at the end there for Denmark. They just didn't quite have the support players. That was too quick with the tap and go, and they needed just to be a bit more patient. That's possibly the experience and showing there. But from a GB point of view, I think they played really well. I think they got their structures in place nice and early. They looked like a team that have been building and starting to grow as a unit, and well-deserved win for them today, and they'll progress through to the quarters.
And the action here is relentless. The next fixture we have for you in the women's competition, Pool C, is Belgium against Spain. So a real cracking matchup here. Now we saw Gustens leaving the field for Belgium. She's one of the stars of the Belgian setup with an injury yesterday. It didn't look to be too serious, but we've not had any news yet, so she may or may not be back on the pitch. We are holding our breath to see that, because that would really weaken the Belgian side if she would have to drop out for the rest of the tournament. Belgium against Spain coming up for you in just a couple of moments. And the players take to the field. Two very athletic setups in the Spanish and the Belgians.
Yeah, so as I see them running out there's no Lisa Gustens there, so she's obviously having a rest today. We will hope that it's just for today. She's down on a crutch in front of us there, unfortunately, so that's not looking too promising. Quite possibly means that that's her out for the tournament, which is a loss for Belgium, but there's still a lot of talent in that Belgium team. A lot of talent there, a lot to play for. And hopefully they can show us what they can do against a strong Spanish team.
Yeah, maybe just an opportunity for some of the younger Belgian players to step up and show that they can do it without Goossens. It's a team sport. And Belgium playing from right to left in their white kit get us underway. Oh, a slightly high challenge, I thought, maybe riding up over the shoulder on that occasion, but Spain up to the challenge and just recycling and hitting it up once more. They snap back to the right hand side. A good fend, getting the hands free for the offload, and a lovely inside supporting line from number 6, Garcia Gala. And she scampers in for her first try after just 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was some great play there. Lovely little break from Fresneda Fernandez, who got the hands free to offload that little pass there to Garcia Gala, who managed to get in from the halfway line with the pace and speed that she has to get past that Belgian defence. The Belgians just not quite up quick enough and not closing down the Spanish attack as quickly as they would like to have seen. A great little play for Spain to start off the first minute of this game.
And the small Spanish contingent in our crowd, they've had a long old journey over to Croatia. They're enjoying that, soaking it up in the morning sun. Spain get us back underway, a nice contestable kick in the middle of the park, and Belgium struggling to deal with that, and it does bounce kindly for the Spanish women, who charge towards the try line looking for number 2. They recycle well, moving the ball from left to right in the park, choosing the kick option. There's some space in there, but the kick looks to be slightly heavy, and it is indeed. It just rolls over the dead ball line, and that'll be a scrum for Belgium.
Yeah, maybe not the best option there from the Spanish team there, just to take the kick. This is worth trying though, but just not quite as accurate as they'd like to see. But from the kick-off there from Spain, it was Gurney that went up. I don't know why she tried to tap it back. She wasn't really under any pressure. I felt that she could have just taken her time, got the two-handy, because she's a strong woman and she can just hold on to that ball. Her support can come and help her, but on that occasion obviously went to try and tap it back. Maybe a little bit of panic set in, but Belgium ball in the scrum in the midfield as we see them trying to get a smash up, but inaccurate passes as it goes wide to, I think it's Bocondo on this outside channel. Belgium just trying to get a bit of control back on this ball as there's a slight knock on from Spain to give the scrum to Belgium in the 15-metre channel, about 5 or 6 metres out from their own try line.
Indeed, and the wind is unfortunately slightly picking up here again. I don't know if you can hear that on my microphone. I can certainly hear it in my ear. Spain and Belgium with 5 points separating the teams. 3.5 minutes left to play in this first half. Belgium trying to relieve the pressure and get out of their own 22, which they've struggled with so far in this fixture. And Spain this time with the scrum after applying pressure in defence. That's the reward for the hard work. They'll be looking to get a second try here. It's a pretty perfect attacking platform. If they can execute clinically, you'd think there'd be no stopping them from here, Andy.
Yeah, this is ideal for them with their speed there, and they've got a good powerful scrum. This ball tends to just pop out very quickly at the back here, and they've got 3-4 strong runners. However, the scrum half deciding to go wide on this one with no support as we see them attacking at pace once more. Back into the 15-metre channel, but look how quickly they organise an attack. And they're confident enough to move the ball outside.
Yeah, the Belgian defence moving up well there, putting the Spanish under pressure, but they're still under control of the situation. And in control of the ball, more importantly. Possession is everything. Oh, and Belgium getting over that ball very well, losing her feeting slightly. Maria Latos, the referee, with all her experiences, that's alright, it's a fair contest. Play on, ladies. And they do. Belgium turning up with the ball. contest once more from Spain. They're not giving up, and 3 defenders push up on the first ball receiver, just keeping tight and not giving her many options. But it's a penalty to Belgium. They look to take it quickly, but not from the mark, so that just slows them down a little bit here.
Yes, Margot Stephens just trying to go quickly, but I don't think she tapped it with her foot. She just put the ball down and ran, and referee Latos just decides to bring her back as they look to just kick it out and go for the line out and try and get some set piece stability back into their game at 5 minutes and 30 into this first half.
Yeah, not much time on the clock, only 5 points separating these teams. And Spain stealing that line out, bounces kindly for them, and that attacking play well read by the Belgian defence, but Spain with the ball once more and looking to cause some problems for the Belgians. On the right hand side there's not much space, but working it well. As we see now, they look to play a little bit more width into this game. Belgium just coming up fast to block that pass. Very effective. And that forced Spain on the outside channel. They try with the kick, but it won't be effective on this occasion. Belgium with the ball now. 30 seconds left to play in the first half. And Spain just keep progressing forward in defence. A big shot coming in there. I believe that was Blanco Hortiguero Pedero. Belgium looking a little bit more composed now, but the hits just keep on raining down on them. Oh, good fend, but then the second hit is just as big, and she's unable to ride that challenge. Coughing up the ball, Spain rewarded for the relentless hard work. It's Blanco Hortiguera Pedrero with the try, and that just doubles their lead in the dying stages of the first half.
Yeah, the referee and assistant just having a little chat here to see what's going on. It's maybe not been given just yet. We'll find out the answer in a moment. There's no try. There was a small knock on there by Spain, so Belgium a little lucky on this occasion, but what pressure Spain were putting Belgium under there. Belgium looked like they were starting to compose themselves, get themselves into a good bit of structure. However, Spain were just putting the pressure on in defence, making them go backwards, making them make decisions that they didn't want to make. So well played to Spain on that defensive phase there. Belgium just not quite managing to find a way through this strong defensive line that Spain has to offer.
Yeah, and with that try not being awarded in the dying moments, it's quite a big moment for the game. The lead staying with just one score without the conversion as well. So a very slender lead for Spain. Belgium absorbing a lot of pressure in that first half. If they come out flying, they can change the way this fixture looks in the blink of an eye. Here we see some of those highlights from the first half. That was the early score for Spain, streaking away with Garcia Gala. What a lovely try that was, with a great supporting line. And there were no further points for the remaining 6.5 minutes. Just relentless pressure from the Spanish. Whether they had the ball or not, they kept moving forward. So this will be the last fixture in Pool C of the women's competition. We've seen GB go 2 from 3, and Spain looking to go 3 from 3 if they can see off this game. A lot of work to be done, I think, in the next 7 minutes if they are to achieve that. Andy? What do you think about that?
Yeah, at the moment I'd say that Spain are looking the sort of favourite team. Their structure seems to be a lot better. Their defence is definitely more powerful at the moment. They seem to be connected. They seem to be pushing up and putting Belgium under a bit of pressure. And they, for me at the moment, I know they're only 5-0 up, they look to be the better team. However, Belgium have got a lot of experience and a lot of ability in that team, and just takes a second or two, as we've mentioned many times before. A little bit of magic for someone, a bit of speed from Bacondo going down there. Blondieu getting the ball in hand, she's got the experience. That's all it takes, is that one moment of magic, or someone, as we see Margot Stevens with her hands on the ball at the moment. She's got the ability to just break from the base of a scrum and go through. So all to play for, but as I said, my money at the moment is on Spain.
Belgium moving forward well now, but just getting too close to that touch line, and that's a real coach killer. You get an opportunity in the early stages of the second half with a 5-point deficit. You just need to keep control of possession and apply the pressure on your opponent until the opportunity presents itself.
I agree. It's as a former coach at the moment, I get very annoyed when they hit that 5-metre channel and go on the outside when there's no way they're going to power round them or speed round them, and they just need to step inside, and often they go into touch or get knocked into touch. And yeah, coach killer, exactly what you say, but they've managed to recoup the ball, which is good. There's the big woman girl now on the ball. She's definitely got some power there and can draw in 2 defenders, 3 defenders on this occasion, so there must be space on the field somewhere.
Yeah, much better play by the Belgians, building up this attack nicely. So they've recovered well from that initial error in the second half, attacking the wide channels well, getting the hands free. That is Baconda. You spoke about her, Andy. We know what she can do. Oh, but Spain getting onto that ball well, tackler not rolling away is the reason Belgium get the penalty. Were they back 10 there, Andy? Very interesting one. No, they weren't. Real Atos on the money.
Yeah, it was just had 10 fingers showing up there. It was a quick tap and go with Belgium not really anywhere to go. I think it was Verkamer, that just tried to tap and go and just got a little bit lost with them not being back 10. Just needed to run straight. I think if she'd run straight, she could have gone through, or a yellow card would have come Spain's way. However, they've got the penalty at the moment. Looks as if they're going to take a scrum, as we see a small injury. I think that was just when we saw Belgium with Guernay, going down the outside. The first tackler, I think, just got a little boot to the chin as she tried to tackle her. And she's just having a little rest down there, and it's Cortez Ecobo, I think, that's just feeling a bit dazed after that one, so she'll have a little rest. Nothing malicious in that. I think it's just a stray boot as she went for the tackle, so we'll be coming straight to the scrum. Belgium put in. Now we've got a chance to attack and show what we've got in the outside channels.
Yeah, and Baconda has also left the field, so changes here, some of them forced, some of them tactical, but fresh legs on the park for both sides. They'll just wait for the injured player to completely leave the field of play before we progress with proceedings.
Yeah, we're also seeing Colette and Brooks about to come on for Belgium to add a little bit of freshness to that team as well. They're definitely throwing everything at it. They're wanting a win out of this game to see if they can progress.
So we're back underway here. Slightly stop-start second half, but we look forward to the action now. That's another kick option from Belgium once again. I think that's just been kicked too heavily, but it bounces kindly. Can she get the touchdown? Oh, I think the ball's just evaded everyone. I felt she just needed to dive on it. It sat up nicely, didn't it, in the end?
Yeah, it's a lovely kick through. Blondieu, I think, that kicked it through, and it just got that last bounce, which was perfect, but Blondieu couldn't get to it. And then the support players, I think with Stephens going through, just managed to knock it on into the dead ball area. So very unfortunate, but a great option there to kick chase in behind that Spanish defence, who were up flat with nobody covering in behind. So Belgium seen some gaps there. It's definitely, this game is going to go round to the wire, I would say, as we should have a scrum 5 here, I think.
Yeah, Belgium with the opportunities. Now, it's only 5 points separating the teams, but they must capitalise on one of these opportunities. As much as we're giving them plaudits for what they're trying, you only win games if you score points. Spain with the scrum. It holds steady, and they're able to just run onto that ball and clear their lines slightly with the first big carry. Once more working the short side. Running back inside and being met by a strong Belgian defence. Contesting at the breakdown, but to no success on that occasion. It was a very good contest nonetheless. Spain now finding space on the outside channels. Up to their own 22 now. So patiently just progressing up the park. Once again, making the same tacklers who have just got up onto their feet, forcing them to collide once more, and that'll sap the strength in the Belgians. So good choices here from Spain. Once more they find a little bit of space in the outside channel, but the Belgian defence holding very well now, it must be said, Andy.
Yeah, the Belgian defence is much better. You can see the speed that they're coming up. They're really putting Spain under pressure. Just in that last phase there, Blondieu, just really good timing of the run there. She was hanging back in a half sweeper roll from the outside wings, and then she just pushed forward and absolutely nailed the Spanish defender, and then worked in tandem with Verkammer to make sure that they stayed out and had to go back to the middle of the field, where Belgium have managed to win the turnover here and get themselves in a great position for an attack, which I'd love to see the ball come right, because Blondieu is looking a bit tired at the moment, and you have the new player, Scoriel, has come on, and she's got a bit of pace if we can get the ball into her hands.
It's a great attacking platform here. No points in the second half. It's been a long busting fixture with so few tries. Another little error creeping in there. That'll make the Belgians just a little bit nervous, maybe, because they know they need to get points soon.
Yeah, frustrating from a Belgian point of view. That pass from the base, I think it was from Margot Steffens, just started to float up too high for the receiver there, and just not quite in front of her, not quite in the right position. Frustrating, as they were obviously having a set play there, and Colette will be a little bit disappointed with that, because the opportunity is gone, but there's still a minute and a half to go. We just need another good defensive effort from Belgium here.
And Spain looking for an attacking effort, which is what they find. Another inside ball is what it takes to unlock the Belgian defence, and charging over the 22 now and under the sticks for Spain. Miranda Morales, I believe it is. And she's delighted with that, doing a wee dance. And the DJ obliges with some music to accompany.
Yeah, that was a really, really well run move, as we saw the double dummy on the inside. So there was a dummy pass by the inside runner, which the Belgians took, and then the second runner came in behind her. That was a well worked training ground move. Love to see that one again, because the way she came back from behind the scrum or behind the ruck, there was no way that the Belgian defence could get there. So really well worked move from their own 22, going the full length of the field, down for a score under the post and the 2 points. This could just take, or does take, I would say, the game out of contention now, as Spain, with 30 seconds left, are 12-0 up.
Absolutely, my apologies to anyone watching at home in Spain. That was Camacho Ruiz with the try, and Miranda Morales with the conversion. So underway once more, a lovely kick-off. Belgium rising high to take that beautifully in the air. There's no roll from the tackler, so Belgium back underway. Running out of time here, there is the hooter. That will be the last phase of play. So the game just running away from Belgium slightly here. They had their chances, but unable to capitalise, and Spain will go 3 from 3 in this group stage when this fixture ends. But Belgium still with the ball, not giving up. So we spoke about a group of death in the men's tournament yesterday, but this feels a little bit like a group of death in the women's as well, when you've got Belgium, Spain and GB all in one group. But the two best third place teams will progress in the cup competition. They just have a slightly more difficult route. So Spain putting themselves in pole position for the cup quarterfinals, with Belgium picking up the scraps.
Yeah, Belgium struggling to get out of this area of the field at the moment. Again, a strong Spanish defence, just holding them there. They're not rushing them too much, but they're forcing them into turnovers as we see them kick the ball out of the park. They've had enough of this. They've won the game, so Real Madrid just gets the ball, kicks it out of the park. They'll go in with a 12-0 win and they'll progress through to the quarters.
Yeah, is it fair to say, Andy, that it was the Spanish defence that gave them the opportunity to win that game?
I think yes. In that first half, we just saw that Belgium could not find a way through it, and there was power, there was pace. They were in the faces of the Belgians the whole time. Belgium just were struggling. They needed a Lisa Hussens there, just with a little bit of magic, a little one-handed offload, a little bit of a rangy player that she is. They needed someone like that who could find an offload for someone or find a gap. But Spain, I would agree that their defence was excellent there. Really, it's good to watch, a good structure. They all worked for each other, and I think they ran away as deserved winners from that one. Belgium, however, I think will be a bit disappointed. They didn't manage to create anything. They have the ability. They tried a couple of things. We saw Blondieu's little kick through was a really good option, but they couldn't quite get their hands on that one, and they'll be disappointed, but they'll go on and they'll lick their wounds and come back stronger, I'm sure, as we see the next game coming out, which is Portugal against Sweden.
Indeed it is, Andy. Portugal against Sweden. The players are just about ready for this fixture. And we're moving on now to Pool B, obviously, with these two teams. We'll have Germany and Poland up next for you. Germany and Poland topping the group. Portugal and Sweden both on 0 wins from 2 games. So 2 losses for both of them. And they are looking to compete for 3rd place in this group to give themselves an opportunity to progress in the cup. Portugal with a slightly better points difference at this stage. So they Sweden really needing a big win here. And Portugal have gathered the ball well. Just the start they need. With good post-contact meters, that ball does squirt out the breakdown, but Portugal awake and snap it up with no delay. Once more, just keeping it tidy and tight. Not throwing the ball around too much in these early stages. Again, challenging Sweden physically. And now they do look to open it up. A scissors play in the midfield just straightens things once more. Up to the halfway line now. As they continue, keeping it tight, not forcing any offloads, not risking losing possession. That's Marta Marquez with the step and the footwork and releasing. I think it's Da Costa down the right hand side, and Marta Marquez is the first support player as well, so she's working very hard out there in the morning sun here in Croatia. Very controlled play, they've gone a long way, and this time they do try to play an offload in the 22 just to unlock that defence. Another hard line and holding on to the ball well. They're just 1-2 metres away now. A dummy, a step, a stretch and a try under the post. What a controlled effort that was, Andy, going from their own 22 all the way up without forcing anything.
Yeah, I think the player that dived over was Lopez de Almeida there, Almeida. What I love there again, we talked about it yesterday, it was Da Costa. She didn't get involved in the game as much as we would like to have seen, and we talked about maybe going out to the wing position and getting back to where she can be destructive, and on this occasion she did. She attacked down the outside. It was great defensive work from Sweden to take her down, but that had got Portugal on the front foot, and then they just moved it back to the midfield, where they eventually just ground down the Swedish defence to get over for that try. So great teamwork there by hitting the outside channels and again bring it back to the middle for Lopez de Almeida to go over for the score.
Yeah, and it was Mota Marquez turning up in the middle of the pitch with the footwork to create that initial overlap, and I'm more used to seeing her in the wide channel, so great to see that she's got a more versatility to her game. Big day yesterday, so it's good to see her starting the second day in fine fettle. Sweden now have secured the ball from the kickoff, playing the ball out to the left hand side, but meeting a very strong Portuguese defence and knocking on under pressure. So Portugal with their second opportunity after 3 minutes of play in this first Pool B fixture of day 2.
Yeah, good defence from Portugal there, as you say. Just quietening down that Swedish attack. Although Sweden, good to see them with some ball in hand. They just need to settle into this game a little bit as we see the scrum to Portugal and the 15-metre channel being fed in, and I suspect that will go a little bit wider this occasion.
I'm pretty sure they did that just to upset you, Andy, hitting it straight up the short channel and losing the ball. So Sweden with an opportunity on outside, and that's showing real pace. It's Wikström. Cecilia Wikström going the length of the field in a lovely curving run in her own 22 to get in the outside channel and show gas to go all the way.
Yeah, you're right. Portugal did try and crash it up the middle. As I said, I would like to have seen them go wide there because I think they need to move it away from there, but fantastic play from Sweden to get the turnover there. Ball goes into the hand of Wikström. Cecilia, one of the sisters there, and that's a lovely winding run, just taking the player inside to take the pace out of her legs to then stride away on her outside and go from her own 22 right the way down to the end of the field for a lovely score, which unfortunately wasn't converted, so it'll be 5 points to Sweden, 7 to Portugal, as we just passed the 4.5 minute mark of this first half.
Yeah, and Portugal look to be in control of things, but that all looks very different now. That's how quick things can change in sevens rugby, and it's a bit of a stalemate here. 7 points to 5. Portugal now with the ball. They need to go back to what they were doing at the start of the game, keeping the ball under control so nicely and building with patience. The pressure coming on once more from Sweden, messing it up a little bit for the Portuguese, but they deal with the challenge well. A kick again for Mota Marquez to chase. She's got pace, and the ball bounces kindly into her arms. But it's Sweden back in numbers though, and they get the jackal.
Yeah, really good defence there from Sweden. As you said, Mota Marquez there, she got a bit of pace, and she won the run, got the ball, but the tackle was made, and then the second player from Sweden was in there really quickly to get her hands on that ball and show the referee a good picture, and they get the turnover as they look to kick this ball into touch and get a little bit of ground here, and hopefully be able to set something up from the line out and get it into the hands of Cecilia Wikström again there to see if she can go under for her second try of the day.
Yeah, she's a tremendous athlete, isn't she? Great pace. And Sweden do win their own line out, moving the ball now nicely in the width, and that's who you wanted to see the ball with. Cecilia Wikström, she's had the pace once, but this time choosing the inside line, getting the hands free for the offload. And now they're up into the Portuguese 22, moving the ball nicely, but coming under immense pressure. The Portuguese really pushing them back there. It's what you want to see from your defence when you enter your own 22, that they up the intensity somewhat. Martin Marquez with a good hit. And the space now for Sweden on the blind side. Oh, and the pass just lacking the accuracy. She wanted to put it in front of her so Isabel Wikström could run onto it. She's just about as quick as her sister, I think, but the ball evading on this occasion.
Yeah, a little frustrating there for Sweden, but good defence from Portugal. They're managing just to push them out to the sidelines and force them into these mistakes as both teams start to tire a little bit at the end of this first half. Sweden need to be strong here and really put the pressure on Portugal if they want to try and get a try at the end and get a little turnover before the final hooter, the half-time hooter goes. But we see Mota Marquez just kicking that ball out. They've had enough. They don't want to play from their own 5-metre line and try and go a full length at this time of day.
Yeah, that was a really good game, a really good first half of this game. Andy, a very tight state of affairs here. Now, if Sweden can get a win here, it would be pretty big for them, because that would leave them in third place in this group. And that might just take them out of the relegation zone, am I right? I'm not sure on that one, Andy.
Yeah, we'll have to crunch some figures just to see where they are. I'm not 100% sure myself, but once we see the point situation of everyone else, then we'll be able to be a bit clearer. But they'll still be in around that bottom 4, which wouldn't be great for them, but if they can come out of that relegation zone, that would be great. And I was speaking with Maya Muller, the Sweden captain, yesterday at the end of the day, and they were disappointed with their day's work. However, they were confident that today they could get a little win over Portugal, and that was their big goal today, was to sort of go out there and try and beat Portugal. I think Portugal just beat them in Hamburg by one score in Hamburg. They'll have to check the stats again, but they definitely wanted to get their revenge a little bit and try and come away with a win, and they're on the verge of it here if they can just get some ball in hand. They are in a good position here with the conditions. They've got the wind in front of them, which means that they will have to run, but they have to be careful that Portugal don't try their little kick and chase. But it tends to be a little easier for the passes to go to hand when you're playing into the wind. The ball floats in front of you and comes back towards you rather than go away from you. And I'm sure that's what Maya Muller will be telling her teammates, just to make sure we're accurate with the passes, try and get to the Wikström sisters as well in the wide channels, move that ball out there and really take it to Portugal. But I think they'll have to have a very strong defensive effort as well, like they just did by keeping Portugal in their own 5-metre line that last 1 minute of the game there. So really looking forward to the second half, Ian.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, and the fans soaking up the atmosphere here as well. Day 2 getting well underway. Portugal to kick off the second half with their 2-point advantage, so a very narrow lead. 7 minutes of action in the Croatian sun coming up from you now. Wikström knocking on from the kickoff. Mota Marquez distributes. And Portugal in a commanding position from that first kick. Da Costa moving the ball nicely. They're looking for some width, looking for scissors, but that's just a little bit loose. And once again, we see Sweden streaking away, capitalising on that. That is Wikström. Isabella, I believe. Cecilia was wearing the number 1, scoring the first try, and Isabella Wikström scored with the number 2, scoring the second. So the sisters doing it all.
Yeah, that was good work there by Sweden to get back into the game there. Isabel Wikström running again from her own 22, the full length, and outpacing the Portuguese defence there. But that was good. Again, that was a good defensive effort there. Just the last couple of tackles there, after having the ball coughed up first of all. Portugal getting into a strong position to attack, but Sweden taking no nonsense from them and then just making their own tackles, forcing the turnover. And Wikström there, Isabel Wikström, was there to capitalise and go from her own 22 to make the points. 10 to Sweden, 7 to Portugal.
And Sweden get us back underway. They've taken the lead early in the second half and will look to just gain possession from their own kick, and they do. So they can control possession now. They're in a really commanding position. That's Maya Muller, slowing things down slightly, playing the scissors play, keeping things under control, showing all her experience as they recycle with a bit of space on this left-hand side. Slight numbers as well. Wikström plays back inside. Good spot from the Portuguese defence. And that means Sweden are actually moving back, although they're in possession. Oh, and a good position from Costa over that ball. She's rewarded by the referee as there's no release. So it's a penalty for Portugal. And the chance for them to get some points back and regain the lead.
Yeah, that was great work from Costa there. Da Costa was it, sorry. Adelina Da Costa. She got her hands over that ball. I mean, again, she's not been as firing as much as we have seen her in previous tournaments. But on that occasion, she was definitely top dog there, just getting in, hands on the ball. She was not getting moved on that occasion, as we see Portugal really putting some pressure onto Sweden, forcing them back in their own 5 metre line, making them work hard in defence here.
Yeah, they are, and that's Mota Marquez once more, fighting through the tackle, but she's not released, I don't think, on the ground. That's exactly the call from the referee. She's just stealing those extra meters with the extra movements. And we see.
Yeah, I think she's just trying too hard there. She got tackled. We couldn't see who the Swedish tackler was, but her hands were on her legs there. She hit the ground and she just crawled a little further because she saw the try line, which was only 1 or 2 meters away, and she thought she would get away with just crawling forward and diving over. But on that occasion, the referees were on point and saw that she has to release the ball on the ground and then pick it up again. So well played for Sweden, as we see the referee signalling that just crawling along the ground there. Sweden, I think, want to get this ball out of here, either a kick, I would say, nice and long, or right down the middle of the field, but definitely want some distance. As we see, that's a nice kick.
That's a terrific kick, Andy. Against the wind as well. I know it's not a strong wind like we saw yesterday, but still, what a great strike of the ball. And that's relieved all the pressure for Sweden. They're up on beyond their own 10 metre line, and the line-out's been working fairly well.
Yeah, well, let's see. That's the big test, isn't it? If they can get this line out and win it, and then move it away from the contact area. That's their work on here. They want to get out of this position after a good clearance kick, as you say, but they need to keep possession just now. They don't want to be giving that back to Portugal if they want to go on and win this game, as we see Da Costa coming off. Obviously has done her time for the moment.
Hammarberg feeds and distributes. And Sweden once again losing the kick. They know they've got the pace from those first couple of tries, so putting the ball in behind, not a bad idea. But Portugal are able to get back to it first, and they're there. 2 players, now 4, 5. They're all arriving in numbers. Look at the Swedish wall of defenders, though. Very well organised, dislodging that ball, but Portugal, unfazed, snap it up, it falls kindly for them. And again, good work back by Sweden, preventing what looked to be a almost certain try from that breakaway. So end-to-end stuff here. How many sprints do these players have left in them at this stage of the game, of the second half? Portugal. That is Ana Margarida Mata with the second try for Portugal, and they regain the lead after that end-to-end lung-busting phase.
Yeah, what a phase of play, going from the Swedish half with a kick through and a great chase down by 2 Swedish players, but we then also saw 2 Portuguese players working their socks off to get back there, and beautiful down and up, nice and quick, giving their teammates a little bit of time before going to ground again and securing ball. It looked as though Portugal weren't quite back in numbers. We saw the yellow wall was there. It was a good defensive effort, but then a great breakout from Mata there originally, I think it was, and to get down the field and then eventually get the score. But there was again a great chase back. We saw Wikström and Muller working hard to get back, but just not enough from the rest of the team there, unfortunately, to keep out this Portuguese team, who now lead 12 points to 10.
Yeah, they do indeed. So Sweden will be really disappointed with that. They've got a minute left on the clock to make a difference and regain the lead for themselves. That kick not going 10. So maybe this is just the opportunity that Sweden needed, the slight bit of luck that you sometimes need on your side. There's so many uncontrollable factors. What the opposition do is one of them. So in Sweden hitting it up down the middle, that's a great carry. But Portugal managed to nab that ball. And they just will look to keep possession until the clock goes into the red. That's Mata. Mata Marquez. Maybe the woman of the match. She's looked fantastic, been very influential. Portugal recycling well, and the hooter sounds, and they are shepherded towards the touchline and say thank you very much, we'll just get the ball off the park and take the win. So Portugal winning this Pool B fixture.
Yeah, we might be a little biased up here in the commentary box. I'd love to have seen Sweden win that one. I think at the end of the day there, Portugal did enough to probably deserve the win. However, Sweden just showed a bit of what they can do. Give them a bit of ball in hand, give them an opportunity, and they can really attack with some pace and some speed. Their defence was a little bit better on this occasion, but not quite good enough to keep out this strong Portuguese team. So well done to Portugal as they will progress a little bit into this next phase of the tournament, as we then move on to the next game in this group, which will be Poland v Germany.
Indeed it will, and there's the squad of Poland for you, coached by Christopher Davies. They look absolutely fantastic this weekend. They're in good form, played a good tournament in Hamburg, and they will look to progress in their usual manner. The German squad, coached by Curtis Bradford, we had a little chat to him this morning, and I didn't really take any golden nuggets out of the conversation, but what I did take was how relaxed he is at the moment. So the vibe in this German setup seems quite good.
Yeah, they seem to be settling in quite nicely. He was talking to us about the potential of just making sure they are through the group stages, but making sure that they rest their players, their top players a little bit, don't give them too much work to do, make sure that they're prepared for the next stage of the event, which doesn't mean going easy in this game, but it does mean that they want to ensure that all players get a bit of time and everyone gets a bit of rest. So they're gelling, which is good. He was worried, I think, that they weren't going to gel quite the way that he hoped for, but they seem to be coming together as a team and as they progress through the various tournaments. However, Poland will be a tough one for them. We've seen this Polish team with Pamięta, we've got Druskala in there, and you've got the effervescent Zajsluch. So it's going to be a tough one for them. It's going to be a great game for us to watch, that's for sure. I think both teams are on form, so let's hope this game goes the way that we expect it to go.
Marta, good morning here in Split. Tight win against Sweden there after a difficult first day. How's it been for you so far?
Hi everyone. It has been quite difficult. Yesterday we think we did a good job regarding what we did in Hamburg. We did a better first day. We thought today's game would be less tight, but we didn't give our best. We gave our best, but we didn't achieve what we wanted to.
So Germany to kick off.
We just want
hope for a bit of height in this to get underneath it as we get straight into it.
And fought to that to the end. We'll see how the groups turn out now. What is your wish result for the weekend?
We want to reach the first 8 so that we can reach the quarterfinals, and then from that on our goal is always to win and to be in the best position we can, and first place is always the goal.
Okay, then let's see how the weekend works out for you. Thank you and all the best for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
So I'm back to the action after that brief little interview. Sorry if we spoke over it. We're struggling to hear the interview when they take place, so if we do talk over it, that's why. We're trying to get that sorted, get the technique adapted here. And it is Poland in their black kit in possession of the ball. Germany in the white. Defending well against a stacked Polish team full of superstars. And the crowd's gone quite quiet here. But there's a big Polish contingent here. The majority of the flags are red and white. Gossman chasing back, trying to regather, spilling once, spilling twice. I think that's Simat who's just had her back. Sorry, that's Laura Schwinn who had her back there and picked up that loose ball, but it was knocked on by Poland initially, so we were playing advantage and we'll go back to the scrum.
Yeah, good pressure on from Poland. I'd mentioned at the start about some of the Polish superstars there, and we saw Zajlic there just nice and early going down the outside, but well controlled by the German defence. But pressure on from Poland has forced Germany back into their own half here, but they do have ball in a good position where they can certainly set off a good attack if they win the scrum. And whoa, look at the power coming on from Poland there as they get round there. There's a lovely pick up from Paschik, who sneaks in over the line. What a powerful scrum though, Ian.
Yeah, really powerful scrum and great opportunism from the wee scrum half, darting over for the first try for Poland. All created by the power of the forwards driving over that ball.
Yeah, I'd love to see that scrum again to see if Germany were set correctly or if they're not expecting this power, because we know the power of the Polish team. Just as they're big, they're strong, they're fast, there's everything good about them. And on that occasion, the scrum was just very powerful. So maybe they were hoping that Germany were just going to do it nice and simple and just hold their own, and on this occasion push them back to win that ball. So well played to Poland for a 5-0 lead, with the conversion not quite going over on this occasion. Germany need to be on their toes from now, and I'm sure they'll not let that happen again.
Yeah, as we hear the cries, Polska ring round the stadium here. Germany rise in the sun and steal that kick-off. Germany down the right-hand side, getting the ball into the hands of Simat, who's tackled into touch. So Poland with a very commanding start to this fixture. They've taken the lead after 3 minutes, and now they're back in possession on the 10-metre line of Germany. Set up very deep, this Polish back line, keeping that ball, waiting for a scrum half to arrive, and running onto the ball with pace, attacking the outside shoulders. Recycling very quickly. Oh, a little hitch kick and straightening through the middle. Big fend coming in there, but unable to shake off the defenders, just stealing a couple of extra metres. And they go back to the left with a big long pass to Klichovska. Klichovska on the scissors play, keeping the ball alive nicely. This is Poland progressing now towards the German 22. Going through the phases nicely. Again, they play that little snapback play, and they do find the gap, charging through Druzgala. She's wreaking havoc with defences wherever she plays her rugby, and she's got her day 2 off to a good start.
Yeah, that was a lovely break from Druzgala there. You just saw her caught the ball, 2 hands out in front of her, options to pass, and she just threw a half dummy, and her speed just took her through that gap. And that German defence, there are no slouches there. They've got some speed about them, but Druzgala, we've talked about her on many an occasion in many tournaments, and her speed just too much for the German defence on that occasion. Taken with the conversion, takes them up to 12-0. Commanding lead at the moment, or commanding position that they're in, but we did say that this is a strong Polish team as well.
It is indeed packed with superstars, and Druzgala is one of them. That kick not going 10. The whistle has been blown, and Germany will tap from the middle. Maybe their first opportunity to really string some phases together, have some possession and build an attack. That's Hennig. A good powerful run. but not really making any meters. They're still all camped out in the halfway line. Pressure coming on from Poland. Gosman doing very well to distribute the ball to the outside channels. Attacking outside shoulders once more, and Poland getting in over that ball well, but there's no release from the assistant tackler, and Germany will be rewarded with a penalty. And this is what they need, isn't it? Just to find their feet in this game, Andy. They need some phases, they need some possession, and they need to build some confidence.
Yeah, I would say that there's no way through the middle of Poland. They're not going to be able to bash them in this game, so they need to spread them and move the ball a little bit, get into those outside channels and try and open up some gaps in the middle for the likes of Simmert to go through, who's got some pace, or Schwinn. They've both got real gas to burn, so getting a bit of the ball in hand, getting a bit of settled play is what they require as they get away from this scrum again into the open plays. They love that little wrap around. Malatier coming round there, just not quite to the hands of Adler.
Yeah, I think that was Haka actually on the wing there who just was unable to gather the 7 and the 1, very similar. But Poland do manage to regain the ball from that error, and they look to burst through the middle. Good cleaning that ruck from Kluchowska. And Seisluch looking for a gap. Not finding one, but good post-contact meters with a leg drive. Kluchowska still powering through, charging towards the try line. That'll be the third Polish try of the first half in overtime.
Yeah, great patience there from Poland as well. I thought that they might consider kicking the ball out of the park, but Seisluch had different plans there. She wanted to really stretch the defence, and as you said there, Kluchowska just getting the ball in hand, and again just too much to power away, too much speed there, and managed to power away from the German defence. The Germans looking a little bit down there, which, you know, they're coming up against one of the top teams, so they shouldn't be too down about this. They just need to get a little bit more ball, bit of control, and they'll be on for a good thing. But on this occasion, I have to say that Poland are looking strong. As soon as they get ball in hand, they've got some powerful players there, the likes of Truskala and Kluchowska, that can just run in from anywhere, and in a defensive form they're very much in the faces of the Germans, not really giving them any space to run in. This will be an interesting second half. Poland in the ascendancy just now, but I'm sure that we'll be seeing something from Germany very soon.
Yeah, they've just not really found their feet in this fixture, but we know the danger they have. They had the best result they've ever had in the Sevens Championship Series in Hamburg. So they're a confident side. We spoke about Curtis Bradford earlier and how calm he is, the atmosphere within the squad. They're very composed, and you can see that there in this huddle as well. Despite the 17-point deficit, they're not panicking here. All still to be played for in the second half. And the temperature is rising here slightly as the day progresses. It's 11:15 local time now, and it's getting hot out there.
Not just the temperature that's rising, Ian, the music's rising, the DJ's getting behind everybody, the crowd are starting to make a little bit of noise, there's a few extra people in. We're seeing a few of the injured players from yesterday. Ukrainian boy with the broken arm, unfortunately, in a plaster there. We've seen Belgium, Goossens with her crutch there. We're seeing another one of the players on crutches there as well, one of the female players. I'm not sure which one that is. We'll have to look into that one to see who it is. But yeah, but there's a few more people in the stands there. Just a bit of noise. I'm loving that music. Just gets the atmosphere good, and hopefully from a German point of view this will push them on to get some ball in hand, get some attack. But Poland to kick off this second half, all to play for.
Oh, the big high contestable kick there. Adler rises in the sun but unable to gather. Slight misjudgment there from the lifting pod. And Poland have the ball. They're charging down this tight space. Ball goes loose, but it does go loose in a backwards direction, so they maintain possession and momentum. deep passing here, and before they straighten and attack hard in the middle of the field, that draws in 1-2 defenders, and the third struggling to fold. Little grubber kick attempted there, not quite working as well, but possession does stay with the Polish. Krychowska, she's been a threat since minute 1 of this game, doing the hard work without the ball and the effective work with it. Again, a slight unforced error there, but does go backwards, and Julia Brown applies the pressure. And this is some space now down the left-hand side for Poland. Krychowska on 2 defenders committed to that challenge, gives Krychowska the space, and Gossman chases back, but she won't make it, and that's another try for Poland.
Yeah, well played from Poland there, wasn't it? I mean, she drew in 2 defenders. We saw Ricky Hennick coming over there to make the tackle, and unfortunately Meta Simic stood in as well. She was looking a little injured there. She was hanging about on the wing at that point in time, but Poland noticed that and just ran full steam. And then Klichowska managed to get down the outside as she takes a well-earned rest. Great play from Poland. We've got to respect that the speed and power that they have, and Germany not finding a way to control them at the moment. Just need to work a little bit harder, get a little bit more structure in there, and they'll be good to go. But on this occasion, Poland scored, taking the score to 22 points to 0, and fully in control of this game as we see another high kickoff. It's a great kickoff. Once again, the timing not near where the ball needs to be. Hennick clears up, releases and goes again. Great little leg drive. Post meters tackles, leg drive as you're always talking about, Ian. And there's Gossman freeing the hands up as we saw yesterday. Needs to get back on her feet again. As Poland are coming through. They're just powering through this with a counter ruck there. Great work to win the ball back again and get it away from the contact area.
Yeah, great decision making at that breakdown to counter ruck. We see that from the absolute top teams, from the likes of France and Poland on a regular basis. They make those good decisions. And now straight into attack. Again, looking dangerous on this tight left-hand side. Big fence coming in. Good footwork as well to avoid being pushed out towards the touchline. So all going well here for Poland. And this time the grubber kick does work out. Charging through. Will it sit up kindly? It does eventually. But Simat working back hard and holding up the attack, but just prolonging what's... Oh, and the Hennig almost getting under that ball and holding it up. That was a close one. Mary Pringle of Scotland says it is a try. She's seen a grounding. That was hotly contested by the German defence, but Poland showing their quality.
Yeah, that was a lovely passage of play with that little, as you said, the turnover and the counter ruck, then getting into the hands of Paszczyk, who had the little grubber through, the kick and chase, the bounce not quite going perfectly for her. However, she managed to get her hands in it and set up the ruck, and then the ball spilt out for Krysiak, who managed to power over even with Ricky Hennick underneath her. Unfortunately, they managed to get the touchdown, as you say, the in-goal assistant and the referee combining there to say that there was a touchdown, as we now see a couple of changes coming into play with Hennick going off and Weatherspoon coming on as a replacement.
Yeah, Weatherspoon's on, Adler's on. Some fresh legs for Germany. Julia Brown making that tackle, but Poland once more in possession after scoring and kicking off themselves. Some pretty relentless kind of stuff here. Gossman applying the pressure well in the midfield. As does Hacker. That's Sophie Hacker, the younger of the two sisters. Oh, and some fancy footwork in the midfield. Doesn't really get her anywhere, but it did look good and excited the fans. Oh, and see, identifying the space beautifully. Poland run away for another try, extending their lead. Germany yet to get a score in this fixture, and Poland in full control.
Yeah, that's Pamieta again going. She's been amazing this tournament so far and through the whole series. Just powering through. She just got a lovely step there. We saw Krysiak earlier on there with the little hitch kick sidestep and just creating confusion in the German defence there, and on this occasion making the gap for Pamietta to go through for a lovely score under the post, with the conversion taking the score to 34 points to 0 for Poland. These kickoffs they've been having have been absolutely fantastic games. Great height in them. Germany don't seem to be able to get their timing right on the kickoffs, but what a height they're putting in them. Much better than yesterday.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff from Poland, and it's just starving Germany of any possession. Without possession, you're not going to have points. It's exactly what we've seen in this game. Once more, it's a good lift and a good jump, but it's misjudged and unable to gather the ball. So Poland hustling round that loose ball, going straight into attack. Grzgala with the kick, and the whole team applying the pressure, but there was an offside there, and Germany with the penalty, and they're not going to be able to turn this one round, but they might just look to end this on a high note.
Yeah, how good is the reaction from Poland there? Obviously Germany's timing not so great. I'm still not a big fan of the lift sometimes for these players. They're not always required in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But how quick was the reaction for Poland? They got there and they were lined up, structured, and the ball got moved out so quickly away from the contact area, and there was 3 German players still around that ruck, but 5 Polish players outside. But on this occasion Germany get the attack, and a lovely little break there. That's more like it. That's Sophie Hacker this time, managing to move upfield a little bit as they get the ball into the hands, and Julia Braun putting a kick through for Adler, but Zeislich clearing it up again, setting the ball up for Poland. Look at the structure again. They're back in play. Kick it out the park. Go in. 34-0 up. A good day's work for Poland.
Indeed, it is a good day's work, or a good start to a day's work at least for Poland. A very convincing victory against a confident German side.
try and capitalize on the kick that they actually put in place. So yeah, looking forward to it, because they do have some good runners as well. They've started to move the ball a little bit more. They're not the biggest team, so they don't tend to look for the power up the middle. However, with the low centre of gravity, they are able to run at the legs a little more than the bodies, and be, as long as they're there to support and they're there quickly, then they do have the opportunity to win ball back. As we just wait a couple of moments, as both these teams, Czechia and Turkey, will be making their way out onto the field for the second last game of this session in the Women's Championship here in Split, Croatia. We'll be back with you in just one moment.
So the players take to the field. A slight delay in proceedings of 1 minute here, but we'll catch up, no bother. Turkey with their mascot, that looks to be the national animal of Scotland, if I'm not mistaken.
That's one of the finest haggises I've ever seen there, so Turkey obviously wanting us to mention that, so showing us the haggis there. Oh no, sorry, it's a unicorn.
It's the great one-horned haggis. Lesser spotted. Anyway, enough rubbish from us. We do like a good dribble, the pair of us.
More dribbling than the Football World Cup.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's Jenny Lee of Spain to referee this game, to officiate it. And we're underway. Turkey playing from right to left and taking it up to Czechia from the first play of the game. Alagos with a good initial carry down the left-hand side, and they distribute the ball nicely here. Little wrap-around play, but moving backwards, they straighten up to great effect. Aydin making the meters and moving the ball on well, but it's stripped on one back for Czechia. And they attack from within their own half up to the halfway now, and that's a lovely little inside step, creating the break. Turkey chasing back well, but the little overhead pass played by Czechia, it doesn't work on this occasion, but both teams looking threatening in the early exchanges.
Yeah, great little start there, as you said there. I think it was Alagos who made that initial break down the near side here for Turkey and held up the ball, moved it back to the midfield, but Czechia with a turnover, and we saw Ditrichova just attacking up the outside, and then a small mistake at the end there just to give the ball back to Turkey. But both teams showing that they're here to play. They're not just here to be part of the tournament. They want to play, and they want to make sure that they get some ball in hand and get the opportunity to attack at speed, as we see Turkey moving the ball once more.
Yeah, lovely fend with the right and with the left, and the sprint off. Look at the pace. I think that's Sedinur Bolat. She creates so much for this team. It is indeed wearing the number 1. Dotting down for the first points of this fixture, so the early exchanges look to be very even, and Bolat just with a lovely right hand fend, the left hand fend, a good ball change, and the sprint, all the athletic ability.
Yeah, absolutely. She's one of the players that we've highlighted before with this Turkey team. She's definitely a leader within their ability to kick, pass, tackle.
Strong match against Germany now.
As we listen into an interview.
Pole position for another final here.
Yes, certainly hoping for that. It's always difficult coming against all the strong nations in Europe, and we always are prepared for the fight, so just hope for the best outcome.
You came second in Hamburg, only losing to France. I think you won everything there. We're seeing a bit of a different French team here, so how do you see your chances?
Well, we are prepared. We've analyzed what we have to do. Changes come and go, and we just know that we have to rely on each other. And what's come opposite us, we know that it's always fierce, there's always a fight, but we just got to rely on each other and play with each other. And as long as we're together, we're going to do what we got to do.
Good. Seems like you're on a roll. Keep it up. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of Split.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So on Turkey, capitalising on all the pressure with the second try. extending the lead to 12 points. There's a nice little interchange and just doing the simple things to effect. Catching the Czechia team a little bit cold in this first game for both teams on day 2. One of the most challenging games is always the morning one when you've had a whole day in the legs. The kick is unsuccessful from Dilmatch, so it stays at 12 points to 0 after 3.5 minutes of play.
Yeah. We thought it was Sack there that scored. We're just waiting for an announcement there. But what a kick from the start there. Feslian went very long, pushed Czechia right back to their own goal line, and Turkey put pressure on them. So that was our discussion earlier about kicking for a reason. So the reason for the long kick was to put Czechia under pressure. However, on this occasion, they've tried to go for the 10-metre kick, and Czechia now have control of the ball in the middle of the field. But a good defensive effort from Turkey at the moment.
Yeah, and it looks to be a much mature performance already from Turkey. They're growing from game to game. Not all that much championship experience. So it's great to see them progressing in a positive manner. But Czechia building their own attack now and looking to get back in the game. That's Sladkova with the big wide pass out to the wing. Hrabkanova with the sprint for the corner. Will she have the pace? It looks like she will. And Czechia get day 2 off to a start with that try.
Yeah, well played from Czechia there. The power up the near side here once again, and the speed to the players to get to the breakdown to produce quick ball, and then to move it out to the wide channels where Hrabkanova managed to go from her own half right the way down into the corner for their first score in this game. However, unsuccessful conversion leaves the score at 12 points to 5 for Turkey.
Yeah, and props to Aydin for chasing back and forcing a try to be scored in the corner, because that's made the kick more difficult, and the difference between the two teams stays as a converted try with 7 points. One getting slightly isolated there, but the support is alert and does get there eventually. Aydin to recycle, and a slight unforced error, but moving the ball on well to Dilmatch. Scissors with ball at, and that was a heavy collision. It looked to be head on head as the tackler just went in very upright on that occasion. Penalty to Turkey and the yellow card.
Yeah, she didn't really reduce her height there, did she? Just ran in chest high, which meant that the head, once the chest hits, that's a head collision. So quite rightly so, it's a yellow card. Safety first here. So it looks as if it'll be Rochin that'll take a 2-minute break there. Always nice for a player just to get a rest, a bit of a rehydration. However, not so good for the rest of our teammates as we see Turkey get the scrum and move the ball outside there. There's going to be some gaps opening up soon. However, the ball not quite going to hand.
Yeah, unfortunately, that occasion they were doing the right thing. They saw the space. They knew they had the player advantage. So they've moved the ball to the wide channels, just as you'd want to see. But the inaccuracy, it's just a technical ability of these players maybe just lacking slightly in these moments.
Yeah, frustrating, isn't it, when you've got that one player advantage and then, unfortunately, a loose pass just bounces off and goes into touch, so giving Czechia the chance to slow the game down and win a set-piece play, which they do.
Yeah, and in a perfect world, when you're up a player, you just want to keep hold of the ball and you know the spaces will come. But Czechia now, with less players on the pitch, getting the balls in the hand of their superstar, Agnieszka Marta Sladkova, and she gets over, wearing the number 7 for her first try of day 2.
Yeah, really good play there by Sidlova to force the outside line, get the handoff in, knock away the Turkey defender, and then get the ball in the hands. I believe it was Sladkova Sladkova that scored that try. So that's a great play from six-player Czechia to go in the corner when they're that player down. But great little work rate, as I said, going from the set piece. I love the set piece, Ian. They held the receiver up nice and high, waited to see where the Turkish defenders were going and brought her down, only to go into the wider channels as Turkey closed in nice and tight to try and make sure they didn't run the tight channel, which is kind of where you would expect when you've got a player down, to expect the opposition team to go. But on this occasion, Czechia confident that they can hit the outside channels and proving so with a score.
Yeah, and that unicorn we're seeing in the pictures now, it seems to be lucky for Turkey, because they still, despite both teams scoring 2 tries, Turkey still maintain their lead. But on a more serious note, Turkey doing a very good job to force Czechia to go round the edges, attack these outside channels. They're scoring the tries in the wide positions where the kicks are more difficult, so they're not taking 7 points with them on each visit. They're taking 5 points, and that's what gives Turkey the slight advantage after they got one of their tries right under the posts and converted successfully.
Yeah, those 2 points could be all the difference at the end of the game. However, when you're a player up, you would like to think you can snuff out the attack. On this occasion they couldn't, but yeah, saving those 2 points might mean the difference between a win and a loss, but they will still be a bit disappointed that they did give away the score. But in this second half they will have a little bit of wind advantage. We have talked about that kick and chase. I'm interested to see if they do deploy it with the likes of Fezli and the likes of Bolat in that team there. I'm seeing Dilmac is on as well, so these are 3 very dangerous players for Turkey, and Nur Yavuz has come on as well. She's got a bit of power. She's one of the bigger players in this Turkey setup.
Yeah, Turkey ringing the changes, fresh legs on the pitch and looking to make a big impact in the early exchanges of the second half. The kick finds grass. Slightly difficult to gather, but Czechia do so. Just in their own 22, being forced towards the touchline, but a dummy and a sprint gets them into space, and they're off to the races. I think that's Dilmac chasing back well, but the support is there for Czechia, and they get their try through number 5, Rigatova, Tristina Rigatova. She's been doing it all weekend, and she will continue to do so, I'm sure. What a threat with ball in hand.
Yeah, great play there from Hrabankova to go down the outside there to force the Turkish to turn and chase, and we saw her outstrip Fezli there and then outstretch Dilmac to give the ball into Rigatova's hands, who went under the post on this occasion to make it a 7-point gain, and that takes Czechia to 17 points to 12. Interesting to see if they can put a bit of height in this kick now and try and get underneath it and chase it.
It's a good kick-off indeed, taken well by Aylin. Turkey recycling and distributing, but the pressure comes on. There's a slight overlap here, but unable to get the ball to the free player. And the pressure comes on once more from Czechia. Ferocious tackling. Really turning the screw now. And Turkey once more, we see them kick under pressure, and the collision in the chaos giving Turkey the opportunity to chase away, searching for a try. Alagos going all the way. And this is a real tit for tat, Andy.
Yeah, that was just pinball there as well. 2 Czechia players colliding with each other, giving Alagos the chance to just kick the ball, or it bounced up again and she kicked again. Once more it bounced up into her hands, and she's got enough gas to get the whole way. We've seen her running a few times in this game as well as earlier in the competition. But yeah, fantastic work to go from deep inside your own half for the whole length of the field. The conversion unfortunately not good, which makes this game even more exciting as we go in to the last 4.5 minutes of this game. It's 17 all. This game has been changing hands quite the thing, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely, and we spoke about conversions maybe playing a role in the result. We see tied at 17-17, so every point crucial at this moment in time. And once more they do find grass with a kick-off, but this time it sits up more kindly for Czechia, so they have momentum right from the start. 17-17, what a fixture. Oh, a big fend coming in there, but Dilmac picks her pocket and streaks away. Crucially, this will be under the post again. So you would think she should convert her own try. Dalematch delighted with her effort, turning defence to attack in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it was good defence. I'm not exactly sure how the ball got out there, if it was just a bad placement or if she managed to rip it. It looks like she ripped it off the Czechia player and just powered through under the post, as you say. So well played to Berivan Dalematch for that fantastic effort, and it looks like...
Oh, terribly unfortunate, Andy. The ball dropped just not quite up to par, and it slid wide right of the post.
Yeah, that's frustrating there. They'll not be happy with that, because once again we talk about those 2 points could make all the difference as they get the kick-off, get the game going again.
Yeah, a converted try would be enough for Czechia to seal the deal. But once more, the pressure coming on very well here from Turkey. They are hustling today. They are working hard off the ball, which is giving them the chances with it. And into the wide channels now, once again, not afraid to take on their opponents in the one-on-one. A lovely little wrap around, stutter step, cutting back in field, not getting too close to the touchline. That was smart play in the wide channels. Dalematch with a wide pass and shooting up is the Czechia defence, and they look to have jackled that one cleanly. They have indeed, rewarded with a penalty. And Czechia with an opportunity now. We've only got 2 minutes left on the clock. They have a 5-point deficit. Like I said, a converted try would be enough to take the lead.
Yeah, that was great play from Sladkova just to fire up there and make that contact and give Czechia the opportunity to now attack from as they go into the Turkish half.
Yeah, just about 5 meters into that half. A little wrap-around play, looking to create an overlap on the outside channel. Unable to do so. And the Turkish player just too slow to roll away. But Bolat has retreated 10 meters very quickly and able to hold up the initial attack. But up to the 5 meter now it is Czechia. The counter-ruck attempt comes in. But Czechia maintain possession and stay cool, finding the space, moving the ball to space, and they've got a try of their own. And again, like I said before, crucially it's under the sticks, which means the conversion could be good and that would give them the lead.
Yeah, that was a powerful play from Czechia, going from their own half down the right hand side, and then crucially scoring under the post. At Sladkova with the score, and then the 2 points being made there as well, which should give them the advantage. We're seeing the scoreboard telling us 22-22, but I think it should take us up to Czechia 24.
Yeah, that'll be updated shortly. It is 24 points to 22 for Czechia. As we see it now, we've got our updated scoreboard, and Czechia with a slight advantage going to the last 20 seconds of this game. They'll kick off themselves and they go long. Turkey having to attack from their own 22. They go route one initially, freeing up the hands for the offload. Oh, and that's spilt forward, picked up by the player in front of her, which is the reason for the penalty. That's an offside, a slightly technical offside, but it is offside nonetheless. And Czechia with ball in hand, scampering into the 22 of Turkey. Big fend. And that's the game now in overtime, so Czechia don't actually need to play this. This is slightly risky. They have a 2-point advantage. And we know Turkey can go the length. The ball does fall loose, and Turkey regather through Bolat. So maybe Czechia should just have got the ball off the park there. This has given Turkey, a little opportunity.
Yeah, high risk there from Czechia. I mean, obviously they want to score more points, but I think going away with a win would be probably more important for them, as Turkey tried to go quickly. If they'd gone through the mark, that could have been a score from their own 22 right the way through, but now they've slowed it down. They're going to take the scrum and try and launch an attack from here. So, as you said, going into overtime, this really is their last chance to try and claw back this game.
Yeah, and they'll claw it back is what they'll have to do. They're camped out in their own 22. I said that we know they can go the length of the pitch. They've got some real speed merchants out there, and that is true. but it's still a tough challenge. First scrum not quite working out, so it'll just be a reset. No one at fault there. I think the players just losing their footing. Obviously trying to win the battle of the heights. Turkey moving the ball into the wide channels, looking to go the long way round the outside, and now straightening back up, going to the middle, looking for a gap. They find the gap, but good work from Czechia to cut out the space very quickly. Dilmac out to Bolat. Oh, that looks to have gone forward, and Czechia pounced on the loose ball and sealed the deal with a try. That was what they wanted. That's why they carried on playing. And after 9 minutes of play in the second half, Czechia come up trumps.
Yeah, good work there from Anderlova to be the first to pounce on that mistake from Turkey. They're high risk there, just the passes not quite going to hand. They did try, we've got to give them respect for that. They definitely wanted to move that ball into the wide channels, but the accuracy was not quite there on this occasion, and Czechia managing to overpower this team by 29 points to 22. I'm sure Turkey will be frustrated, but they'll take a lot of good points from that game going into the next phase of the tournament. However, Czechia winning on this occasion as we look to the next game, which will be, as Ian said at the very start, a cracking game where we see France taking on Ireland.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, Andy. Two cracking teams. They've bolstered their squads for this tournament. I've mentioned it a couple of times, France really changing a lot of the squad. They had the player of the tournament last tournament on the last leg in Hamburg in Tunkara. She's not even in the squad, but the squad doesn't seem to be weakened by any means. So real depth in France, and an exciting prospect as they go up against an Ireland team that is stacked with talent. Here we see that squad. Amy Larn having a very good day yesterday. Kathy Baker as well, Robin O'Connor to name just a few. Eve Higgins as well. So two very strong teams with a good bench as well, so they'll be bringing the changes without weakening their sides, and we look forward to 14 minutes of top quality rugby in the European Championship Series.
Yeah, Ian, you say 14 minutes. We've seen several games so far go to 10 minutes a half here. The more rugby we can watch, the better, but for these teams, yeah, the 14 official minutes will be something special with Eve Higgins here to kick off for Ireland. I think that we're going to see a cracker of a game here.
So that kick from Ireland, well taken by France, and they build their first attack, first looking to the middle, and now opening it up to the left hand side, attacking the wide channel now, up towards the 5 metre line and the 10 as well. So moving the ball nicely, getting slightly flat there, but a good little step makes up for the error, and they're onto the outside shoulders, putting on the gas, getting close to the touchline but staying in well. That showing her experience in those situations. Hands free for the offload, just not able to be taken under immense pressure from the Irish defence.
Yeah, Alana Fitzpatrick there making the two tackles. The first one, as you said, going down the outside there. France not finding anything and then going back up that same side, but Fitzpatrick getting to her feet, making the tackle, forcing an error with her teammate there coming in from the side as well. So well played to Ireland to make that attack fizzle out, and now they get an opportunity to launch from their own half.
Yeah, they do indeed, and making a good initial carry, but the pressure comes on from France. It's something we know about them. They like to attack those breakdowns. On this occasion they played the 9, which isn't legal, so Ireland do come away with a penalty and attacking the line with real intent. Higgins finding the gap with a big fend. pushing herself away from the defender, accelerating towards the line and dotting down. Eve Higgins for Ireland's first try of the second day of competition.
Yeah, that shows the experience and power of this Irish team, going from their own half, where France made a silly mistake there. Now the player coming through and playing the arms of the scrum half, which is not allowed, which gave the Ireland the opportunity just to tap and go, and ball went into the hands of Eve Higgins, who had Fitzpatrick as an option outsider, but didn't need her on that occasion, and scooted through from just inside the French half. And she even puts her own conversion over from the 15-metre line to take it up to 7-0 for Ireland in this game.
So Ireland to kick off after the first try, successfully converted. A handy 7-point advantage in the opening exchanges. On France rise in the sun to take that kick. Technically fantastic there. Oh, but the Irish defence really cutting out any threat. On to the right hand side once more. Good footwork in the contest. France keeping it tight. Ireland looking to get over that ball. There was a slight opportunity, but the tackle not rolling away quickly. And France straight off to the races after that penalty. Again, a second penalty. It looked to be a second bite at the cherry. She missed it initially and then didn't leave it. That was Kathy Baker. So Ireland contesting the breakdowns and on the wrong side of the referee on these occasions. So France, once more, just progressing nicely up the park. Distributing well and cutting back. They're keeping it tight in these early exchanges. They do have the ability to move the ball in the width, so this must be tactical. A flat ball, exposing a slight gap. And they're now up to the 22. Oh, attacking the outside shoulder nicely, but her arm just being caught as she tries to pass, and that goes loose. So Ireland able to regather possession, and they'll build from deep in their own 22 now. Getting in each other's way slightly, but that's fine. It's tight and it's tidy, and they still have ball. Hands free, offload is good. But the French defence working back hard. Any half break by the Irish is quickly stamped out. Now the show and go. They do find this space and cruising off for try number 2 in this fantastic Irish team. It looks to be Emily Lane. Just extending the lead to 12 with the kick to come.
Yeah, France were building nicely, weren't they? They came out of their own half. They looked to be in control, got right the way down to the Irish 22, but then some solid defence work and a turnover on this near side. We saw Eve Higgins get the ball there and just sneak on through, and then they produced the ball. Not a great pace, but quick enough to then allow Lane to stroll through. Both teams were out on their feet there. There was no support player, no chase back. I think both teams had worked really hard after the 14 phases that we just went through with the ball in play. And Ireland coming away with the score and the conversion to take it to 14-0 to Ireland.
Yeah, very handy advantage now for Ireland. 14 points. That kick's not good, but they'll back the defence from here. And France still to get off the mark here. Slightly sluggish start to the day for them. But we know how much potential is within this side. I'm sure they'll have an answer with 30 seconds left to play of the second half. Of the first half, excuse me. Flicking the switch nicely there. Injecting some pace into the attack. Oh, and shooting up well in defence. McInerney, and she had a very good day one on both sides of the ball. So Ireland looking confident here, looking in control of the fixture, defending well, attacking well, and France struggling to find the answers, even if they do manage to keep possession.
Yeah, you just said it there. I mean, Ireland have been very good defensively, and hopefully it's not the commentator's curse as we see France breaking down the outside, but they've been very structured, very much in control as a team, and forcing France into making some errors, which they did earlier when they got the turnover and went and sent Lane the whole way down. They'll be looking to do the same here as well, just maintain a good structure and a good shape, don't allow France to go through too far in the last stage of the game, of the first half.
Yeah, France once more with the penalties. That's a couple in quick succession for Ireland. They'll need to be a little bit careful because it's always when they're coming under pressure that they're conceding these penalties. Referees don't like to see that. They'll interpret that as negative play, and there's always a risk of seeing a yellow card after a third or a fourth.
Yeah, certainly down here now that they're in the 22, it's definitely something to watch out for from an Ireland point of view as France take the scrum and open up the far side of the field, lots of space for their pace players to play in. Let's see if they can breach this Irish line, but a poor pass from the base of the scrum. She was under pressure from Ireland, and unfortunately the hands hit the ground there from Kathy Baker. There we go, there's the yellow card we were talking about, and that's Baker putting her hands on the ground and scraping back rather than hands on the ball.
Yeah, that's just what we've been talking about, Andy. Ireland are coming under a lot of pressure now from France. They are defending well, but they just keep conceding those penalties, and they'll have to play the next 2 minutes with a player less on the pitch. They're down to 6. And another long half. You spoke about that. The team's not looking to put the ball off the pitch all the time. They're looking for points, and we've seen 9 minutes of rugby already in this first half as France find some space in the outside, but Ireland rush very well, scrambling in defence to great effect. France knock on, and the first half ends after 9 minutes and 9 seconds with a 14-point lead for the Irish.
Yeah, a great defensive effort from Ireland in this first half. France not quite managing to breach them. They've had some lovely play. They managed to get their whole way from their 22 to the Irish 22, but then just couldn't find a way through them at the end, and Ireland stayed tall, stayed big. Even at the end there when they're down to 6 players, we saw Fitzpatrick on the far side there just forcing the error from France. So good defensive play from Ireland, and in attack they've got their 2 tries, so quick transition from defence to attack, giving Ireland the dominance in this game at the moment, but still all to play for. This French team are certainly not done yet, and no way are we going to write them off, and they'll have approximately the first minute of the second half with that extra player advantage, and just after having a rest they might come out a little bit rejuvenated and be able to put this Irish defence under some real pressure.
Yeah, so Ireland really happy with this. I'm sure it'd be great to have a little interview with them. We spoke to them a lot in Hamburg, and I remember just the disappointment. I kept trying to ask questions with a little bit of a positive twist, hoping to get a nice answer. We know what we're got to work on or something like that. But there was none of that. They were bitterly disappointed with a couple of their results there. So yeah, really good to see that mentality is now starting to bear fruits here in Croatia. Hoping to see a little bit more of France in the second half, Andy?
Yeah, France haven't quite got into this game yet. Not really finding the gaps in the Irish defence. They're going through the phases and they're making their way up the field, but then they're looking a little tired. However, that's also the pressure coming on from the Irish as well, so We can't say that France are playing particularly badly, but we can say that Ireland are putting them under pressure so that they can't play well.
Yeah, and let's not forget Ireland are down a player, so that the fact that that kick didn't go 10 and Ireland are able just to slow things down here, let the clock run down a little bit, and we'll play with ball in hand. That is pretty much exactly what they wanted at the start of the second half. They just have another minute to keep the ball, and then they will be up to a full complement of 7 players. French defence working hard, really staying tight there. 3 players around that ball carrier. And Ireland looking for some sort of opportunity, just keeping it tight, keeping the ball under control, not forcing anything, stepping in the midfield and committing defenders. And it's a high tackle, and that's a yellow card for France, so that is really big. Ireland are going to get their 7th player back probably at the next break in play, and France are now down to 6.
Yeah, from up here, it looked a little harsh. I didn't think it was overly high, but Ireland doing well not to take the ball too wide, just hold on to it a little bit, take a bit of contact and wind down the clock so they get their players back. Oh, it's a poor kick from Eve Higgins. She was looking for the long chip and chase, but a great charge down from France.
Yeah, it looked to me as if she wanted to kind of deceive the defence, like she didn't want to show them that she was going to kick, and she just waited, she delayed, and gave the opposition the chance to charge down. That'll be disappointing, won't it? What a great opportunity they've just thrown away, or kicked away rather.
Absolutely, and we see the Irish player coming back onto the field, so that'll take them up to 7. We're seeing a French change coming in again with Kozar, I believe it is. She came on in the last game as well as a substitute and managed to get 2 tries, so this could be very good from a tactical point of view from France, although they are with 6 players against the Irish 7 now.
Absolutely they are. Another player is also, it's a double substitution. Ines Zeze also taken to the field for France, so they got fresh legs even if they are down a player. They kicked the ball away as well. It was an attacking kick. It wasn't a bad idea, but Ireland scrambled to the ball and pick it up, and they're off to the races here, going the full length here, but chased down. The pass is good. Higgins for the line. Higgins does open up her legs and stretches all the way towards the try line. What a fantastic try, going the length of the pitch. And 6-player France suffering in the heat here.
Yeah, I think it was Emily Lane that made the initial break there. Didn't quite have the gas to go there, but great chase back from France, putting Lane under pressure there. But great work from Higgins after her, or making amends for her kick that was charged down, and she got there. She's a cracking player. I remember speaking with her in Hamburg quite a few times. She's definitely got the passion, power and pace there to lead this Irish team onto a victory here today as we see her coming off for a well-earned rest.
Yeah, and I spoke a little bit about the mentality in this Irish setup, and I think that's really one of the things that characterises a squad. They don't get too upset about these. Well, they get upset about the mistakes. They're critical, but they don't let it affect the next. They don't follow up mistakes with mistakes.
Time is on.
So Eve Higgins might have kicked that ball away, but then she follows it up with a great supporting line, and Ireland well back into things. So 21 points to 0. Ireland up a player. France with their work cut out. Just 3.5 minutes left to play in the fixture. Unforced error in their own 22, and that'll give Ireland the opportunity just to run down the clock some more and maybe extend their lead.
Yeah, good tactic from Claire Gorman from the kickoff there. Just going a little longer than their normal kicks. France with 6 players, put them right back into their 22, put them under some pressure. It's difficult with 6 players to run from there to go out and score. As we just get that 7th player back on now. But yeah, great pressure to force the error out of France and give Ireland a great opportunity in the middle of the field scrum to really launch a good attack from here.
Yeah, and they're off to the left here, stepping and passing and cutting in back inside. That's fantastic play from Ireland. It's good defence from the French as well. They're scrambling well, but it looks to be inevitable here, and that is the try for Amy Larn. We mentioned her before the game. I'm sure you know her back home. What a cracking talent she is. That was one of her more easy finishes, to be fair, Andy. The work done in by the whole team earlier.
Yeah, Ireland getting, as you said, the pressure on the French team to force that error and get the scrum, and then giving Amy Larn the opportunity of a relatively simple 2v1 to go and score. Unfortunately, Claire Gorman couldn't make the conversion there, but 26-0 to Ireland. I would say that they're comfortable winners of this game. I wouldn't say unexpected. We always thought the game would be a bit closer than this potentially, but the Irish have certainly been more structured and more powerful than this French team on the day.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about expectations, I didn't expect to see a 0 on the scoreboard at all by the end. I thought it would be a bit more tit for tat before the stronger team really showed itself. Maybe it's a first game of the day syndrome for France. I'm sure they'll progress in the cup competition regardless.
Or maybe it's just the fact that Ireland are just too good for them. To be quite honest, their defence has been immense, their structure's good. We just see them now transitioning into attack, got into good positions, but unfortunately a poor pass there just peters that one out. But there was a small infringement by France at the ruck time, so we will go back for an Irish scrum in the 15-metre channel on the far side, allowing Ireland to have lots of space to launch an attack from the scrum.
Indeed, Ireland back in possession. 1 minute left to play, just over. And these group stage games for the women's competition coming to a close now. Ireland will go 3 from 3 with this victory. Oh, and a lovely little break as the wraparound play came in. She just dummies it and goes. Herself, Megan Burns, the captain of Ireland, just compounding France's woes.
Yeah, that was a great attack, wasn't it? You saw the two players coming round on the wraparound, and one of the French players followed but didn't have anyone staying to mark up Megan Burns, who just gave the dummy pass to both her players and then strolled in from 40 metres out for a lovely score under the post for a converted try and a 33-0 lead for Ireland. They'll look to get this ball off the park as quick as they can from this kickoff.
I think if you put clinical into Google, you get this Irish setup. What a fantastic game it's been for them. France really struggling to keep up, and with that knock on, it is full time. Ireland victorious. They go 3 from 3 in the group stages, topping Pool A. And with that, we will go into a little break here in Split, Croatia, before we return with the men's competition in, I believe, 20 minutes time. So don't go anywhere. Have a cup of tea, and we'll see you shortly, or we'll hear you shortly.